Hi, I'm Ollie from Butcher Lab. We're here with Theo and Lizzy, our debut game as an indie studio. I'm art and design in the team. There's 4 of us at the moment.
Could you explain to us what is Theo and Lizzy in your own words?
It's a bit of a difficult one to describe. We're trying to use it's a perpetual running game with puzzle platform elements and also gravity flipping. So you can flip between the ground and the ceiling, but you're constantly running. When you hit a wall, that's the only time you can change direction. So your aim is to get through each level. Each one has a sort of puzzle element to getting through, or a reaction time element as well.
So when it comes to developing a game like this, what have been the biggest challenges so far?
Difficulty, definitely. We tend to make levels especially hard, and when we bring it to expos like this, it's a great way of finding out that they are way too hard. I tend to design levels that the other guys can't beat, with that in mind. So yeah, that's probably balancing it, because it is such a simple mechanic. You only have really 3 buttons to use initially as the main crux of the game. We find that keeping the challenge going after a few levels, you have to sort of up the challenge, but it's really balancing out that difficulty curve. It's going to be a tough one. So yeah.
Okay, we just had a quick go of Theo and Lizzy,
Yeah, we did.
and I beat you. Have to get that in. And there's a single player and a multiplayer mode.
That's right.
So how does the game differ between the two? What's the different styles of play with those?
So the main gameplay stays the same. In the story mode, we're going to have 2 separate single player modes. So a story mode, which we'll tell the story of Theo and Lizzy and some of the other characters. We'll have a challenge mode where you can sort of add difficulty modifiers to get a higher score. Hopefully have some online leaderboards, that kind of thing, and speed running, time trials, that kind of thing. And then the multiplayer is kind of similar to the challenge mode. So at the moment you're only sort of racing against other players, split screen over the single player levels. And that's going to be one of the main elements of it, but you can use different abilities to slow the other players down, kind of like Mario Kart, kind of unfair stuff, but keep it sort of like a friendly or unfriendly party game. But yeah, we may add a few different things, like co-op mode, maybe some co-op specific levels, or kind of arena-based things we think of. So like a kind of a football game where you have like a ball and you have to get it into the other goal. Kind of little mini games like that. Because I think it all suits the gravity and the other abilities you can get in the game. I think it's quite open to whatever we want to do, really.
So where does the inspiration for this game come from? I noticed kind of a similarity to VVVVV, but what other, especially the art style looks really nice. So where's the inspirations from for all of that?
So gameplay-wise, we took sort of elements of genres into consideration rather than specific games. But yeah, VVVVV would be a good example of gravity, probably the most prominent example of gravity switching. Cannonball, that kind of thing, for a robot unicorn attack for perpetual running, endless running. We're sort of veering away a bit from the sort of Super Twitch gameplay of Super Meat Boy, but we have been compared to that in the past, which is great. But we're sort of trying to, like I said earlier, ease the difficulty up a bit, so it's a bit more playable for everyone. But we like you saw earlier, we got the speed control in there. So if you want to play it super fast, you'll be rewarded, but obviously the risks are higher. And if you want to play it really comfortably, you can slow right down, get through it fairly safely at your own pace, and variables in between. But yeah, so I mean, that's gameplay-wise. Design-wise and art and design, I don't really know, to be honest. It's just sort of what comes naturally to us. Me and Pete, the other art and design guy, we're pretty sort of on the same page with the way we draw and that kind of thing. So it's all sort of come out of a sort of fairly simple colour palette. So each world will have sort of mainly 2 primary colours and a few variants in between for detail. But just to keep it kind of looking good and make each world, you visit 7 worlds, each world looking distinct from each other. And even the levels, just dressing them differently so they look nice and look like you're in a different environment, but still making them easy to navigate, which is pretty hard, because if you add too much, it quickly becomes a lot to take in when it's running so quickly.
It looks nice and organic as well, so that's a main bonus.
Yeah, that's really what we're going for. So we wanted it to look really kind of not cartoony, I guess, like really kind of down to earth. There's not too much tech in the game, so I don't even notice on the doors, they kind of, or the teleporters at the end, they're kind of mechanical, and that's something that sort of factors into the story, that there's kind of this technical presence in the world, where the rest of the level is quite sort of natural and like you sort of out in the woods or out in some caves, that kind of thing, or fields. but there'll be this sort of presence of a technology that shouldn't really be there, which kind of factors into the story.
And what platforms and release dates will you be going for Theo and Lizzy?
We've got to be careful here. So we're saying we're coming out on Steam definitely. We've been greenlit. We're hoping to be on console as well, Xbox and PlayStation, PS4 and Xbox One potentially. We're still in talks with that, but that'll be really good because I think it really suits, especially the split screen, really suits the multiplayer sort of environment. Console environment. But yeah, we're hoping to release mid-February next year, potentially Valentine's Day because it kind of suits the story, but it's a bit of a push really. We've just brought it to Unity, so we've backtracked quite a bit time-wise. Early next year.
Okay, so hopefully Q1 it should be out.
Yeah. Don't hold me to that, but yeah.
All right then, and if people want to find out some more about the game, have you got a website and social media they can go to?
Yeah, so theoandlizzy.com, sign up to the mailing list so to get updates. Also @_ButcherLab for our company Twitter. Find us on Facebook, just search for Butcher Lab. That's probably the best bet. But yeah, make sure you sign up to the mailing list because we can keep you updated that way.
Excellent, well thank you very much for your time and we look forward to playing Theo and Lizzy.
Yeah, awesome, thanks a lot. Cheers guys.